Dear colleagues and guests, I would like to welcome you to the third lecture in this series that the Faculty of Arts and Sciences has organized to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Robert College and Boğaziçi University. I will give you now a small sort of history of Robert College and Boğaziçi University, which is of course prepared by our Dean, Gülen Aktaş. We hope that this lecture series, in the variety of its offerings and the excellence of its content, will be seen as a fitting contribution to the continuation of this tradition. And I now invite Eva-Marie Dubuisson from the Department of Sociology to introduce our speaker of today.
We are very, very fortunate to be able to welcome Anne-Laura Stoller in our campus and community today, as she is a scholar who's had such a profound impact on so many different fields of inquiry. She is very aware of all new projects across interdisciplinary lines in history and anthropology. She knows who's doing what, and it emerges in her writing as a conversation, in her citational practices, that beautiful prose. She's sort of digesting all of these projects and ideas as a part of her thinking. Anne is a gracious mentor to so many, and we're lucky to have her here to talk about some of those forms of reflection and meta-scholarship in her talk, A Recursive Mode, Concept Work for Colonial Histories.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. That almost makes it, irrelevant for me to be talking, since Eva said it so well. And I hope that I can live up to all the lovely things she said. It is really a great honor, and I really mean that, to be here to participate in this celebration of the 150th anniversary of Boğaziçi University, which I always say the wrong way. I say Boğaziçi. So everyone's trying to teach me to say it right. Israeli occupation of Palestine has been treated as a Zionist issue, an international hotspot, as a history of nation-making, not a compounded colonial one. The toxic consequences of Agent Orange that spread 20 million gallons of deadly herbicides across Vietnam by US forces between 1961 and 1971 has been studied as part of environmental history, but rarely joined to the violence of sedimented imperial ones. Cognitive psychologists tell us that concepts are organizing guides that provide stability to our world. I think they're right, but often the concept is construed as more stable than it is, as are the features of the members assigned to them. And as Nietzsche would argue, the stability itself of concepts is a false one. If you're only, get better schools, if you only get your political act together and stop fighting with each other, then we'll give you sovereignty. We'll give you sovereignty. So they're promissory notes for delayed autonomy, temporary intervention in the name of peace.
Can we think of the everyday relations like violence, not coming from the state, but violence in the everyday, like violence against women, as imperial effects?
Yeah. This is a major issue too. This is, Angela Garcia has just written a book on New Mexico. Do you know the book? The Pastoral Clinic, which is about heroin addiction and crack in the Southwest. And she wants to argue that 200 years later, the reason we have the domestic violence is because of colonialism, 200 years earlier. I am convinced that where waste is dumped, not the fact of waste, as Zimmermann Bauman would tell us, and that there are wasted people, but where it's dumped and who become those wasted people who are remnants, has a very powerful colonial history.
We'd like to very warmly thank Anne for being here with us and for your voice and meta-scholarship.